Texas against Carolina. Major trade in the NBA. Quite a headline anyway. Rockets have agreed to trade Russell Westbrook to Washington for John Wall and a protected first in 2023. Wall hasn't played since the day after Christmas of 2018 and has 3 years and more than $132 million left on his contract. Westbrook joins a Wizards team built around Bradley Beal, who averaged the second most points in the NBA last season and yet somehow is still woefully underrepresented in terms of all NBA teams in my estimation. Washington also has a sharpshooter, Davis Bertans, who got paid, was coveted this offseason. Lottery picks in the last couple of years, including Denny Avdia. Steve, do you think it's a playoff team?
Yes.
I agree. Part of it's the East, but...
Correct.
As for Houston, John Wall reunites with DeMarcus Cousins after they played together at Kentucky. Speaking of reunites, Westbrook gets back together with Scott Brooks, who he was with in OKC. Be interesting to see how the game meshes with Harden, who became the first player since Michael Jordan to average 30 in 3 consecutive seasons. Adrian Wojnarowski, who blew up our rundown with his tweet about this news, joins us now. My guy Jeff and all of his Wizard buddy fans here in D.C. are bumming to see Wall, a perennial all-star, leave town. But Woj, he's a guy coming off an Achilles, and you know, explosiveness was his calling card. What does Houston think they're getting in Wall?
Well, they think they're getting a player who wants to be with the Rockets and who has shown in the months since, has been working out this summer, that he's got some explosion back. He's expanded his game. He's shooting a three-pointer well with all of this time off. But listen, this was a trade of 2 players on 2 teams who wanted to go in the other direction. Russell Westbrook wanted to be in Washington, reunited with Scotty Brooks, play with Brad Beal, and John Wall wanted to play with James Harden, wanted to go to Houston, and finally they got that deal done this afternoon. The 2 general managers hadn't talked in weeks, and Russell Westbrook's agent Thad Fouché really got them talking today, and then within a few hours they had a deal.
Well, as you know better than anybody, if the right deal comes along, anything can happen. But can we mostly assume that this means Harden remains in Houston for the time and Beal remains in Washington for the time?
Yeah, our Tim McMahon was reporting today that Houston stance has not changed. They expect to play through here with James Harden. They don't want to trade him. And I think they have more of a cushion to work with than Washington does because Beal's free agency comes up sooner. But the hope in Houston is that Wall can, regain some of his old form, that those 2 can find a chemistry, and that James Harden, starts to think again about wanting to stay longer term with the Rockets. But right now, they plan to certainly start the season with James Harden and John Wall as their backcourt.
Adrian Wojnarowski, the best, as always. Thank you.
On Ravens Steelers currently going on.
Naturally on a Wednesday evening.
Welcome to the Sports Center. We're going to begin, of course, with the NBA.
Yeah, a new season is upon us. Surprise, surprise. The league's 4-time MVP has a new contract. It is a 2-year extension, so big picture here is exactly what it means. Let's start with the fact that LeBron James is now guaranteed to be in the purple and gold for the next 3 seasons. That is through the 2023 season, and it does not include a player option. So, good news for you Lakers fans. His running mate, Anthony Davis, is still a free agent, but it's widely believed that he's just deciding on the length of his contract, and then he's expected to return to the Lakers. AD can receive a starting salary at 35% of the cap in 2 years, as opposed to just 30% this season. And don't forget that LeBron's son, Bronny, he's scheduled to graduate from high school in 2023. Yeah, that's the same year LeBron's new deal expires, so we'll see if he sticks around after this latest extension comes to an end. Now, to dive deeper into the financial aspect of LeBron's entire new deal, here's what it looks like. He was already scheduled to make over $39 million this season, and the extension replaces a player option he had for next summer when he could have opted out and become a free agent. So when this ends, LeBron will be 38 years old, making almost $45 million in the last year of his new deal. As for the new season set to begin December 22nd, LeBron was asked about this season's team on Richard Jefferson's podcast. Can you all repeat?
We can. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, we absolutely can. Like RJ said with the Nets, first of all, it all starts with health.
Yeah.
You have to have some luck, and you have to have health. If we can stay healthy, but we did get younger. We got the 27-year-old point guard. We got the 27-year-old 6 Man of the Year award in Trez. You know, we got younger.
with Mark.
You know, we got Mark, who's the Defensive Player of the Year, and his IQ not only playing against him in the NBA, but also playing against him versus Spain national team.
NBA insider Brian Windhorst is live now on SportsCenter with more on this extension. In particular, Brian, the timing of it. So why now? Why did LeBron agree to this extension today?
Well, see, just as LeBron, really for the first time, acting like a guy who's about to turn 36 years old. He's always been aggressive and flexible in his contracts as much as he possibly can be. As you mentioned, he could have been a free agent next year, but instead he is now under contract for as long as the NBA will allow him to be, because there's a rule that you can't be signed for a multi-year deal past age 38. This takes him to age 38. And this is, about insurance. It's about basketball mortality. It's about a guy who had a serious injury for the first time 2 years ago and wants to make sure that everything is locked down. I have to say that I was surprised by the timing of this.
Yeah.
But in talking to LeBron, and the people around him, it is clear that he wants to make sure he's protected, and that's why this decision was made.
Yeah, I get it. To your point, he's turning 36 at the end of this month, and he said on the podcast there that they did get younger this offseason. How about Anthony Davis? Still a free agent right now, but expected to stay with the Lakers. So how does LeBron's decision on this extension impact AD's negotiations, if at all?
From what I am told, it is not impacted by it at all, that Anthony Davis is on a different wavelength. The Lakers were not going to have flexibility for next summer anyway because LeBron was determined to extend. Now, Anthony Davis has looked at more than 12 different iterations of a contract that he can sign for the Lakers. Not just now, but he's also, I am told, looking at what his next contract would look like, whether it's smart to be a free agent in 2 years or in 4 years. This is more complicated than I think it maybe needs to be, but Anthony Davis is going over this very carefully, and he wants to protect himself when he's 32 as much as he does when he's 28.
Can't blame him. Brian Windhorst with the very latest on what's happening right now in Los Angeles. Wendy, thank you.
40s, coach? Is that where we're at with you?
Yeah, I'm a very young 30.
Let's go!
Oh, see, we got cute there. We went with the breaking news. The man of the hour, LeBron James, has signed a 4-year, $153 million deal with LA in 2018. Well, now he's got an extension that's going to keep him in LA through the 22-23 season, which, oh, by the way, would be his 20th NBA season. We now welcome in our NBA reporter, Dave McMenamin. Why do this now, Dave?
Well, Nicole, this is following the playbook that LeBron James and his representative, Rich Paul, implemented after winning the 2016 championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They wanted to show the loyalty and the commitment to staying in a program where they just won the ultimate prize. And so in that scenario, of course, he was going to be a free agent and signed a new deal. In this scenario, he's coming off the championship, already had a year guaranteed this year on his deal. This adds another guaranteed length of time that you'll see him in the purple and gold.
Okay, so it's 2 years, $85 million. But the big question going into this free agency period was not LeBron, it was Anthony Davis. So what does all of this mean for AD?
Well, certainly we've heard rumblings for weeks now that this would be the time where Anthony Davis would, look to sign his extension in order to have that new deal, to be a part of the Lakers, just like LeBron, with designs on repeating. And certainly I think this gives us a major clue as to what Anthony Davis's contract situation will look like. You're probably going to see something in the neighborhood for Anthony Davis of either 3 years guaranteed or 2 years with a player option to line him up with LeBron James, so they can both make mutual decisions come the 22-23 season about either staying with the Lakers or finding a new team to play for.
That's Dave McMenamin with the latest on the breaking news. Elle, is my math right? 153 plus 85 is $238 million.
Girl, you're asking someone who was in remedial math. I don't know.